We pay homage first. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛。We pay homage to our respected teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, good. I hope you all are well. So we will continue to, should we say study, understand, explore, explore this book. This is called Way to Home, and if any one of you haven't got this book and if you would like a copy, please email us, polam@polam.ca, and we can send it over to you, because this is the book we are going to use, or we have been using for the last 10 sessions. And this is actually a book done by me with pictures and passages in there. So tonight we will be looking at page 31 with this picture. Beautiful picture. So anybody can tell me what kind of flower is this? Laurie, of course. Catherine, let us Catherine. Catherine from Saskatoon.
It's a prairie crocus.
Yeah, it's a crocus, yes. You know what is the, you see the center of the crocuses is red, right? Red oranges, or orange red.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they are?
Mm-hmm. The stamens.
Yeah.
Seeds.
Do you,
Pollen.
yeah, yeah. What, and you know what can, is it edible?
I don't know.
Okay, maybe Laurie knows.
I don't know about this particular kind of crocus, but is it not a certain kind of crocus that we get saffron from? The stems of
Yes,
saffron?
yes. Oh, Nora knows about that. Yes, saffron, 红发,
Yes.
红发. So saffron can be used as medicinal in Chinese medicine. It's actually very strong medicine, very strong, and but it's a very, very important medicine in Chinese medicine, Chinese herbal medicine. Yeah, it's, and the best saffron comes from Tibet. 西藏红花, Tibetan saffron, and I think maybe because of the cold weather, the crocuses are kind of different, very hardy and strong. And so the saffron from there is really red in color, very, very red. And they said when they need to harvest those saffron, has to before the sun comes up. And I have actually, because I didn't know these crocuses actually, those are saffron. And one day I was looking at these crocuses. I said, they look funny, they're the center. So I went over and get some of those powder and then smell it. And I thought, what? It smells like saffron to me. So I looked it up on the web, online, and it really shows saffron. And they tell you when you should actually harvest. So can you imagine in one flower how much saffron you get, right? How much saffron you get, really not much, yeah. Okay, so this is my sharing for this picture, and now the floor is yours. It's your call, okay? Anybody has anything? Oh, Nora, please, Nora.
My first impression was just how intricate the petals were.
Yeah.
Look at all the veins. It's incredible.
Yeah. Even the same family of flowers, but yet So different, eh? No, actually four flowers. There is a bud there, and they all look different, and they are so intricate. Yeah, so pretty. Great, thank you, Nora.
I would say, one flower is beautiful, and three of them more beautiful. That is, myself can do it well, and also with you all together, more power.
More powerful. They support each other. That's nice. Good. Thank you. So, anybody else? Laurie, good.
Super. I love the composition of this photograph. To me, I look at it and I think it should be a painting. I especially love the spiky directions that the bright green leaves at the bottom are going. And I love the shadow of the brownie behind with the moss.
Yeah.
And these dots of yellow. It just looks like a painting to me.
Huh.
Beautiful.
You should paint it then. Okay, thank you, Laurie. Catherine.
They're a very small flower, and they're the first to come up.
Yes.
Quite often poking through the snow, so they have to be really determined and very strong and very resilient.
Yes, they are. I think they are. But yet they are so delicate, eh?
Yeah, they are. Yes,
Yeah.
and very, very pretty, very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
Very fragile.
Yeah, yeah, so delicate and so fragile, and with a little bit of rain, then the petals are also mushy, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Crocuses, I love crocuses. I only know about crocuses after immigrated to Canada. Never know that we don't see them in Hong Kong. I think because the weather is not suitable for crocuses in Hong Kong.
Probably too warm.
Too warm, yeah. I haven't seen anything like this in Hong Kong. No. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you, Catherine. Okay. Okay, Versha and then Irene. Yes, Versha, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I didn't actually think about the flowers themselves when I saw this picture, but I see this picture like a family. So I immediately thought of the two flowers as parents, and then the younger one, and then the bud coming up. So for some reason, I keep thinking family when I see this picture.
That's so nice of all these different interpretations of just one picture. Yeah, you can see human mind really works wonder, right? Yeah, not wonder. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Versha. Family. Yeah, family of crocuses. Irene.
I'm Thomas. So when I see the picture, I see beauty and impermanent.
Yeah.
So I'm more resonated with the passage than the picture.
I see.
So yeah, it's talk about love and forgiveness.
Yes.
So it's like that I can think of the metta and forgiveness. If I know how to love myself, then I know how to love other people.
Yes.
In a right way, and
Yes.
with the right view.
Yes.
So because we always impose our view on someone, even with my children
Yes.
and the ones I love, and but bear in mind that what you see they need may not what they want.
Yes.
So honestly, understanding how to love yourself and forgive yourself, then it's easier to love other people and accept love from other people.
Exactly.
And forgive others.
Yeah. Good. Good. Thank you, Irene. So Michelle and then Mali. Michelle? From Malaysia.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
The flowers look so alive and gentle. To me, I like purple so
Mm-hmm.
much. They are like smiling to me. They have lightened up the blurry and chaotic background,
Yeah.
and also the long green leaves in the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
The background, to me, the background is like emotional wounds, fear, and struggle situation. And the flowers are like the Buddha's teaching, spreading love and kindness to purify the environment into a place with peace and harmony. The green long leaves for me is like rebirth.
Wow.
And
Okay. That's great.
This photo reminds me I have to always stay focused on now at the present moment. Say kind words, smile, and apply the Buddha's teaching in my daily life.
Good. Well done.
That's what I want.
You're just like
Thank you so much for teaching.
You're just like a reborn crocus.
Thank you so much for teaching.
You're welcome. You know, Michelle is really like a reborn crocus. I don't think she would ever wanted to speak in front of anybody. Now she has the courage to put up her hand and share her feelings, right? Did I say it right? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care in Malaysia, all right? Yeah. By the way, don't you have to work in the morning? No?
We are locking down now.
Are you still locked down?
We just locked down again. Full lockdown.
Full lockdown. Oh, okay. It's very different, eh? Malaysia is full lockdown and San Francisco is full open up today. And we are sort of, in the middle. Canadians are always like standing in the middle, neutral. Good. Well, then give you more time to study. Good. Okay, Mali.
Thank you, Siku. It's another beautiful photo from you.
Thank you.
For that. So I see spring. Crocuses.
Yes.
Crocuses.
Yes.
And I also see that you focused your attention more on the flowers, the three flowers here, than the background.
Yes.
I see the background is a little blurry for me. So to me it seems like I'm reading from this that these flowers can just rise up. It's almost like the feeling that you can rise up no matter if the situation is blurry and
difficult.
full of confusion
Yeah.
or difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the feeling I got by trying to read through the whole picture. I
Yeah.
don't know whether you did that intentionally or whether that's
No. No. You know what? It's actually very funny. I took these pictures with no intention at all of publishing a book. Okay. Firstly, is no intention of publishing a book. It's just fun, and it's because I always like photography anyway. But I put it down for many years, and I have never been a good photographer anyway. But anyway, so I was given this really good camera, and those itchiness just come back. Itchiness of taking pictures just came back. Then in here I saw so many flowers that I haven't seen before, or I haven't seen it being so beautiful before. Like hydrangea, I love hydrangea, but in Hong Kong we only saw them in the garden, and I saw them when into the garden. I mean, in the park. So here with hydrangea. So the first picture I took was hydrangea. So it was fun. And then it was even more fun is I posted a few pictures on my own Facebook account, and people commented. They said, "Oh, beautiful pictures." And one of my friends said, "You should actually publish a picture book." I said, "Picture book? No, those pictures are really not good pictures. It's just for fun." But anyway, when we started, as you have actually read from the introduction in this book, how actually I put that into a book because of trying to raise funds for this redevelopment project. So we thought you all know that we don't go and stretch our hands, ask for, "Hey, you give me money, I need money now." We're not that kind of people, and we always think that when people donate, they need to donate out of their own heart of generosity, not because I asked them. It's because that they have benefited from the Dharma and they wanted to support the Sangha, and that is the wholesome intention. And when I ask and then you give, then this is a totally different thing. So Yang Sifu actually suggested me to why don't you do a picture book? And so with the help of students from China and with the help of students here, so they actually get all these passages from my recordings of meditation retreats. And so that was it. So when we put this book together, we just thought, oh, maybe this picture will go well with this passage and all that. So, but I never thought that we will study or explore this book. So there was no intention, but now we are here. So yeah, so that was the story about this book. But I really enjoyed this session, exploring this book and having such an interactive session is really nice. You can hear from different people have different vision, different of such just one picture. Everybody sees so differently. Right, and that gives us an opportunity, and also an eye-opener is how we should really respect others' perspective rather than just imposing ours onto our own perspective onto others. And from this kind of friendly interactive session, we know just looking at the same picture, everybody has a different feeling, right? Good. Okay, so much for this picture. Almost everybody have, a lot of people have shared. So we will look at this. So with love and forgiveness directed towards yourself, you will develop love and forgiveness for those you once thought of as your enemies. Of course, this chapter is talking about connecting. Remember that the topic of this chapter is connecting. That means relationship with others. How we connect with others, or how we are disconnected with others, So it's talking about connection. So this connection here is talking about loving kindness or love and forgiveness. So with love and forgiveness directed towards yourself, you will develop love and forgiveness for those you once thought of as your enemies. So Irene shared about her view on this passage, and anybody has any view about this passage you would like to share? Anybody here in the hall or out there in the little box? Nora? Good. Nora?
I think, like you just said about perspectives, it's all about perspectives. If you can, love and forgive yourself, then you can love and forgive others. And, if you have an open heart and, and sort of it's kind of like karma in a slight way, in that, you know, if you give out good things, you know, good things will happen.
Come back
right?
to you, right? Yeah, yeah, great, good, yeah, yes. Boomerang. Okay, Jeremy.
I just wanted to comment on the, if you can forgive yourself, how easy it becomes to forgive others. And that it really is so important to know yourself that way, and to be good enough to yourself to forgive yourself. And that it's so easy to forgive those who harm us when you can do that.
Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay. Phong King from Hong Kong.
Yes, Sifu.
Good morning.
Morning, Sifu. I'm sorry again I came in a bit late, so I'm not sure if I may be repeating some perspective others have shared. But for myself, I immediately think of connecting with myself, which is what I lack most.
Yes.
I mean, most of the time, we are busy connecting with others, trying to work hard, even harder, trying to be better. But most of the times, we are doing this for others rather than for ourselves.
Yes.
And so when I see the word love and forgiveness towards yourself, well, actually, this morning, I was asked by someone, have you ever fought again? What's your life for? Well, this is a simple question we always ask ourselves or ask others, but the day before I was asked this question again by a good friend. So I review again, yes, look at my life again. And I think, well, yes, I was not tender enough. I mean, I should say maybe not others. We try to do good for others, thinking that we are trying to give out love and tenderness, care. But how about myself?
Yes.
Well, maybe for myself, I'm a bit too hard for myself, pushing myself a lot to do better, to do more, blah, blah, blah. But actually, I'm not tender enough for myself. So, I have to, remind myself I really, really have to love myself more.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Good. Very good. Self-reflection. Nice. Versha. Thank you, Phong King. Thank you.
I think this passage reminds me that those enemies exist within us as well as externally in the world.
Yes. Enemies are not necessarily outside. Yeah. Aaron, yes.
So when we love and forgive ourselves, or love and forgive others, we have to practice wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly,
And with wisdom. So
yes.
Otherwise, you won't see improvement.
Yeah, if you don't have that wisdom or have the right view and the right understanding, that is just mundane love. And sometimes that love could do more harm than good. Right, good. Thank you. Great. Mali and Tisa.
I was thinking, if you love and forgive yourself, your mind becomes stronger. And if you're stronger, then it would be so much easier to forgive the others.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Yeah, it's true. because then you don't bash yourself up all the time, right? Some people bash themselves up all the time. And they don't forgive and they don't love themselves. And it becomes a very stressful life, right? You know, when I talk about when you were talking, and when I was thinking of this just now at around 5 o'clock or so, I thought, oh, I shouldn't talk about this. This whole PowerPoint, I should really take them all out. I don't think it was appropriate. I mean, not inappropriate. I think I could have presented in a very different way. But 5 o'clock, I didn't have enough time to do another PowerPoint. So I stick with this one. So I could have done it totally differently, but the idea just came at 5 o'clock. So sorry, you just have to bear with this old thought of mine, all right? So let me know how, at the end, how this one goes, all right? So anybody else before I go on? Okay. No? You have nothing to say? You do have something to say. You're laughing. She's scratching her head and laughing and smiling and, you know, and all blushing too. So definitely she has something to say, but she's so shy to say it. Okay, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you, Sifu. Yeah, I've been going over this passage and looking at it this past week. And also I talked about it a couple times. And it's whenever I ask anybody or the topic of metta comes up for yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a cultural difference or if everybody's like that, but almost everybody I talk to says it's so hard to do it for me.
To love yourself.
It's so hard. Yeah. And they'll try and do it for
others,
for themselves and for others, but whenever they get to metta, and for myself too, I've had to trick myself into doing metta for myself. So I can't do it like the
no wonder why Laurie said that too, right?
I can't do it the classic. I can a little bit now, but for the first decade I couldn't start the metta in that classic sense of,
I see,
may I be well and may others be well.
Yeah.
Because that, with metta, it's not just the words,
no,
right?
Yeah,
there's something there.
Yeah, you generate, yeah.
And so I could never spark that with myself. Just starting to, I think, the last little while.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, I don't know whether it's a cultural thing or whether it's not a cultural thing. I really don't know. I can say. Okay, so let us go on. Have you ever made a mistake? So put up your hand, please. If you have. I said, have you ever made a mistake? You have or you have not? You have, right? Okay. Everybody has. Everybody has. Yes, of course. It would be crazy if you don't have, if you haven't had, you haven't had make a mistake, because we are not saints and we are not sages. So for us, in our mind, there's always something or somebody that we might not like, or even we may hate, or we may dislike and hate. So if there is something like that in your mind all the time, that means you're stuffing your mind. You're stuffing your mind constantly with dislike. No, show him, show her. Look, This is our dog. You see, this is called a Zoom mistake. She said she has made a mistake. She has made such a big mistake, a Zoom mistake. She meditated with us throughout the last meditation, and she was very good just until this slide come up. You have made a very big mistake, Goldie. But anyway, this is a Zoom mistake, okay? But anyway, so when you're holding that in your mind all the time, you're actually repeatedly bashing yourself with that mistake, or with the dislike, or with the hate, or with the anger of somebody, of something, or whatever. So I want to ask you another question is, do you want to be a happy being? Do you want to be happy? Of course we do. We all want to be happy, right? So if you want to be happy, then, learn about how to forgive. And as some of you said, the enemies are not really just outside. The enemies, the strongest enemies, are the enemies inside. Okay, so we look at this when we think, oh well, if I open up my eyes tomorrow morning, what do I see? What do I start to see? I start to see other mistakes or others' strengths. I start to pick on others, or I start to praise others. Okay, so if we don't forgive, it's just like this. That looks very scary. But look at it. It's an exact mirror image. It's just, we talked about mirror last week. And this is a mirror image. And our eyes, our ears, our whatever is always looking at the weakness or at the mistakes of others. And if we do that all the time, we are actually living in others' mistakes all the time. And so when we do that, when we are actually living in such a way, that mind is really, really sad mind. It's a very unhappy mind. And sometimes that unhappiness, that anger, or that hatred would really multiply and strengthen, and it could end up with so much more anger and hatred. But we are very unwise because we think, okay, you owe me, and you don't repay me back, whatever that is. You owe me a favor, or you owe me a whatever, it doesn't matter. You owe me, and you don't pay me back, I hate you. Right? I hate you. And or I dislike you. I mean, using the word hate is actually a stronger word. And then you say, oh, you cheat on me. I mean, we have been cheated many times in our lives, haven't you? People have cheated on you. Have they? Have you experienced that? Oh yes, people have cheated on me. And then you say, I hate you. I hate you. And you lie to me? I hate you. So anything. And that that hatred, that anger, that ill will, that animosity could stay there all the time. And sometimes we are so, I don't want to use the word stupid, but I'm going to use the word stupid. We're so stupid. We are so unwise. We are so dumb that we actually keep this anger and hatred and ill will, animosity always inside our mind. And we become a monster of hatred. If you cannot see it, make sure you enlarge this one. When we don't forgive, when we have all this hatred and anger inside, we become like this. And then at that time, we'll say, okay, you hate me, I hate you more. You don't like me, I don't like you more. And the next thing is, that's a very sad thing, is not just hate you more, and I won't forgive you because you have done me wrong. Yeah, right? And sometimes we are even more stupid. Is I won't forget till I die. 死唔閉眼啊，死都唔會唔記得啊。So that's the Chinese saying is, even when I die, I won't forget this. Oh, come on, who wins? The hatred wins. The anger wins. You lose. You think that you win? If you hold that hatred in your heart until you die, until the moment you die, you don't win. You lose. You lose. So we have to understand this anger and hatred. You see, I'm talking about the opposite of loving kindness and forgiveness. That's why I said I should have done it the other way. But, this is what it is. Then we could have more and more, and so we need to understand anger, ill will, animosity, hatred, dislike, and all these negativities are really the most dumb, or the dumbest. Is it dumbest? Dumbest? Yeah. Act in the world. And a lot of time we forget to really come back to look at ourselves and say, come on, you don't have to be angry. It's okay that you are angry. It's okay that you don't forgive. It's okay that you are upset, but you don't have to. You don't have to be angry over the anger, angry over that dislike, or angry because you are jealous of others. A lot of times we are angry over ourselves, right? I'm angry with some other, with others, or I'm disappointed with others, and I'm angry with myself being disappointed with others or being angry with others. So that negativity keeps multiplying. You don't just have one anger to deal with. You have 2 angers, 3 angers, 4 angers. You keep multiplying. Anytime you start to bash yourself, then you multiply once more. Okay? So at that time, you need to be very aware. Of course, if you can be aware, if you can remember to be aware, as I said in meditation, mindfulness, there is an element to mindfulness, is what? Start with R and end with R. Yeah, remember. Yeah, start with our and ends with our. It's remembering. There's an element in mindfulness. You remember what you're supposed to be doing right now. So then you notice that, oh, I'm angry. So you address that anger right there. This is anger. And ask yourself, how do you feel now? You feel happy? You feel unhappy? You feel sad? Or you feel angry? Ask yourself. And at that time, if you remember to ask yourself, hopefully that anger or that hatred will stop just right there. So we should know making a mistake is actually a very, worldly thing, right? A very mundane, worldly thing. We all make mistakes. But forgiveness is a very unworldly thing. It's a very unworldly thing. It's a very, you can say, supramundane thing. So do we want to be a supramundane person, or do we still want to become stay as a mundane person, a worldly person? Of course, with us practicing on the path of Dharma, we want to become a supramundane person. We want to transcend above that mundane level. We don't want to stay in that worldly level all the time, right? So with so many negativities, with so many emotions, whether it's from outside, whether it's inside, we burden ourselves so much. We burden ourselves so much, and we carry this on our shoulder. This is, I tell you, this is a scene that you see a lot of times in China. People with a bicycle, with a little, what do you call? Tractor? Not tractor. No. Trailer. And then they piled it up. You can see, I actually toned it down, so that this picture is not so clear. But you can see this man just barely have a place for himself to pedal on this bicycle. Why do I put that on there? Why? Because with anger, with hatred, with ill will, they are burdens. They are burdens. Without loving kindness, without forgiveness, we are burdening ourselves with a lot of negativities. And these burdens actually affect us. So who suffers most when one doesn't forgive? Can imagine all these baggages, all these burdens are the actions of enemies, whether you want to call it external enemy or internal enemies. These are all the actions of the enemies that you don't like to see and you don't want to hear. They are burdens. So who suffers most when one doesn't forgive? You, we, ourselves. And then we'll say, oh, so heavy, and very, very heavy. These burdens are very heavy. And we are only able to feel lighter if we could let go of these burdens. If we could remove one bag at a time, even one little bag at a time, and eventually we'll be able to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And if we don't let go of those views that we hold onto others or we hold onto ourselves, and we start pointing fingers at others or pointing fingers at ourselves, we actually add more burdens onto ourselves. Only when we start to let go of this ill will, animosity, then we will start to feel a little bit of at ease, at peace, light, and optimistic. Otherwise, we'll overcome with negativities all the time. How can we be optimistic? How can we look at life, oh, life is going to be beautiful and bright? No, because we are overly burdened by these negativities. So when we can let go of these dislike and those emotions that are caused by the so-called enemies, we will feel calm and quiet and more confident. So do we really want to let go? And how can we let go? And is there a way that we can learn how to let go? Of course there are ways to learn how to let go. The first thing is, anybody knows what is this? The Chinese would know. Yeah, bitter gourd. Version knows. Indians eat a lot of bitter gourd. The Caucasians don't like it because it's bitter, and they don't like bitterness. They always like sweet, chocolate, donuts, cream, icing, because they don't like bitterness. But I tell you, life is full of bitterness that sometimes you just cannot get rid of. So live up to it, all right? Don't sugarcoat it, okay? So, yeah, it feels like that we are being gradually buried alive with all those negativities. Yes, we are buried alive by the negativities. Very scary. Yeah, Feng King said from... so, the bitter gourd. So in order to live a happier day, take a happier life, and a bit free of miseries and negativities, we need to know, we need to forgive ourselves. Not really forgive others, it's really forgive ourselves. Because the burdens are on ourselves, it's not on others. Okay? So the first thing we need to know that there is always a cause for this kind of connection. There is always a cause. If you are jealous with others, others could possibly be jealous of you. If you do not like others, and very possibly people would not like you. Okay, so sometimes we are so dumb that we are so angry with others that that people don't know that you're angry with them, and maybe eventually you decided to tell the other person that I really don't like this. I have been so angry with you, and that person will say to you, "Oh, really? You're angry with me? Why are you angry with me? I don't know that, so your anger is wasted for so long, isn't it?" Have we ever experienced that? You have. Yeah. And you ask, and you tell somebody, I hate you. You know that? I really hate you. Then somebody say, "Oh, really? I don't know that you hate me." Wow, poor you. You have been holding that hatred in your heart for so long that I don't even know. It's not worthwhile, isn't it? It's really not worth anything at all. So when you really want to let go, then you need to know there is always a cause. That cause, mind you, you have to constantly remember the enemy is not necessarily outside, okay? Remember that. So that cause could be a cause between you and the outside, or a cause between you and your inside, your own self. So when we remind ourselves there is always a cause, then you give yourself a way out. Not an excuse, a way out to so bang you in the head. Hey, because of this, that's why you're angry. Because of this, that's why you cannot forgive. Come on, forgive. So you're banging yourself, you're kicking yourself in the head or in the butt, and remind yourself to, come on, wake up, wake up. And when at the time that you can wake up and say, oh, really? Yes, I need to forgive. Then that forgiveness actually could dissolve that negative entanglement. So the bitter gourd will not be bitter anymore. If you cook it properly and with the right kind of spices, the bitter gourd tastes tasty. And even could be is a beautiful salad. If we cannot grow white bitter gourd here. If we can grow white bitter gourd, Taiwan people make very good salad with bitter gourd, and it's crunchy and it's tasty. Especially in the hot summer, it's so good. So when in our lives in this world, only thing that could really dissolve that negative entanglement is forgiveness. When you forgive, then you'll be able to send love. When you don't forgive, no matter how much you want to send love, it doesn't work. So for those of you who cannot embrace yourself in metta, reflect upon it. Are you not forgiving yourself? Do you think that you are not good enough to love yourself? Think about that. There must be a reason, right? There must be a cause that you don't want to love, or you cannot love yourself. And you may think that you're not worthwhile. You may think that you don't deserve. Okay, so reflect upon that. So only after you forgive, then you will be able to love. If you don't forgive, then you can't love. Okay, because when you have that hatred, what are you sending out? You are sending out hatred. You're not sending out love. You're not sending out metta. All right, so I'm just going to go very briefly on this. This is a professor in University of Stanford, and his name is Fred Luskin. He has a forgiveness project. Why he did that project? Because he actually has been holding a lot of grudge upon somebody who has done him wrong for a long, long time. And he has, for that period of time, he was such a miserable person. And he noticed that when he felt so miserable, he was so emotional, he was so unhappy, he found that he did not have a peace of mind, nothing. And so when he actually started with teaching and everything, he started thinking, I really need to let go of this grudge. And he thought, no, forgiveness is the only thing that could work. So he actually designed a forgiveness program which runs in the University of Stanford. And even during the 9/11, after 9/11, they held big lectures and workshops for those people. And it really helped people to forgive and go on with their life. So what he said about forgiveness is really to free and heal ourselves, to be able to free and heal ourselves, to give ourselves space. And he said there are a lot of misconceptions about forgiveness. And some of them I'm going to actually mention tonight, so that we will start to hold a better, a more correct view of forgiveness. He said forgiveness is not equal to, 1, condoning to the wrong act, or to the mistakes, or to whatever, you know. So he said forgiving an offense, for example, like he actually used an example of adulterous affair. He said it doesn't mean that you condone the affair, you approve the affair, or you agree with the affair. So he said no. So that is a misconception, is people condone to the wrong act. I forgive you, I condone to your. No, he said you don't have to. You should not, because we have principles, and there are really rights and wrongs, you know, according to human rules, human morality, okay? So, and he said he was often reminded that we can only forgive that which we know to be wrong. And he said, you need to know that your partner or your husband or your wife affairs, extramarital affairs, was wrong, but you do not have to suffer indefinitely because you were betrayed. So then you can forgive. You can forgive because by forgiving your partner's extramarital affair, you actually remove that burden from your own self. The burden stays with the other person. But you don't have to condone with them, with their act. Okay? And then the second misconception that he said is always people think that forgiveness is equal to reconciliation. He said forgiveness and reconciliation are not equal. They are not the same. When I first read about this, I thought, But further thinking about that, I agree with him. I agree with him. Also, reconciliation. He said, if you were the recipient of childhood abuse or in a very difficult relationship, you can forgive the offender, but you can make a choice to stay into contact or not. So you can forgive, but that doesn't mean that you can still hold that close relationship. Yeah, go ahead.
The other reason I really like this differentiation is that if the other party is no longer with us, then if reconciliation is equal to forgiveness, then it's beyond hope.
It's
beyond hope. He won't be able to do it. But if we separate them out, then whether or not that person is with us anymore, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah. So forgiveness is really a primary is creating the peace of mind for yourself. Okay? And it is really creating healing in your life. Not for others, it's for yourself. So everything it comes back to yourself. To start off from yourself. And it gives you a possibility to return to a state where you really can start living with love and trust. Otherwise we will be constantly losing trust in others, in ourselves. Right? Oh, how can I trust them? I don't know whether they are honest or whether they are true. Right? Then you're always in that kind of fear, constant fear of being, betrayed by others. Right? And he said, but forgiveness and reconciliation are not equal in that sense. It's then you give yourselves a space and you actually recreate that peace of mind in yourself and allow yourself to heal. And then the third thing is, he said, forgiveness and justice are not equal, are not the same. So you can argue with anybody at court about their misbehavior. You can state your point. For example, if he gave an example is, you can argue at the court about your husband not paying alimony, and you can actually state the fact that he's not paying alimony for the children. But this is a fact, and you should seek justice. You should seek fairness. But on the other hand, you can forgive him for leaving you. You can forgive him for having extramarital affair, whatever, that caused the breakup of the marriage. But yet, you could still boldly and wisely and upfront challenge him with the responsibility that he has to carry or she has to carry. Sorry. Okay, so this is he actually a very interesting website to go on. I encourage all of you to really look onto it. And he also said forgiveness, about misconception about forgiveness is that it depends on whether he or she comes to apologize to me, then I will forgive. He said that is not true forgiveness. You don't need to seek others' apology in order to forgive. Okay? So, and you don't need to remain as friends. Okay? So he said if the other person's poor behavior was the determinant for your healing, then they actually, as I said, they hold power over you. Right? They hold control over you. They become your master. So he actually really state out very clearly what is the true forgiveness, and it is actually I totally agree with it, and I'm sure, and it actually I think it what do you say? It is what the Buddha taught too. This is a very wise This is a very wise act of forgiveness, right? And so remember, forgiveness and as I said, and justice are not the same. Forgiveness and condoning the wrong act are not the same, and forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same. So how we should really forgive is, firstly, we need to have this self-awareness that we are not forgiving, and we are holding grudge, whether it's against ourselves or against others. But bear in mind, one less enemy is always better than one more friend. And I don't know whether you have read the book by Carnegie, is How to Win Friends. I read that book almost like 40 some years ago, and it's a great book even up to nowadays. I think it's how to win friends, and how to win friends. It's something with enemies too. No, you haven't read that book? Oh, you should read that book. You should read it. I think it's free, probably free now online. I don't know. But it's a very good book, great book by Carnegie. I think it's David Carnegie, right? Yeah, David Carnegie, yeah. So self-awareness. So you need to be aware that you have this kind of emotion, and you need to be aware of it. And as I said just now, then you will be able to change the way you think. Change the way we think. And we always think, I've been hurt, and I'm going to revenge, and I hate you more. You hate me more, I hate you even more. It's come on, it's a vicious cycle. It's not a game that, you kick the ball here, I'll kick the ball back to you. No, it's not a ball game. It's our life, Don't kick the ball back. Kick a different ball. Change the way you think. And tolerance and patience, remember, always works. And when we tolerate and patience, or be patient, this is actually a way to help ourselves to deal with our own stress. Because when we start to look at ourselves, if we don't forgive and forget, then we are holding that, and we make ourselves more and more stressful. And initially we tolerate and we be patient, and eventually we'll just have to say, okay, I don't want to tolerate, I don't want to be patient anymore, I want to just let go. Forget it. Why do I have to tolerate? Why do I have to be patient? I don't have to tolerate, I don't have to be patient, I just have to let go. Once you let go, you give yourself so much space to heal. And of course, to appreciate your own life, and don't let others to take away the peace in your life, the happiness in your life. And don't let yourself, how to win friends and influence people. Yes, Dale Carnegie. And appreciate life. Life is so precious, and why do you want to spend one more minute in carrying those grudge that needs your own forgiveness to let go, right? And also gratitude. I have so many good people around me. I have so many good friends. I know so many Dharma brothers and sisters. And these just a few people, why do I have to get so upset? And the most difficult is the one who are closest to you. Your siblings, your children, your parents, your spouse. Those are very difficult to let go. Those are very, very difficult because such a strong sentimental tie. And well, when they upset you, if that is an external enemy, when they upset you, try to look at around. Hey, I have this Dharma friend, I have that Dharma sister, I have this Dharma teacher, and try to console yourself. Try to console yourself that, you know, this one person should not allow this one person to take away my peace. Should not allow this one person to take away my happiness. No matter how close they are to you. Try to act wisely, please. Okay? It's not easy, okay, but it can be done. And also be present right here, right now, and don't always regress back to think about all these old things and that they hurt me so long ago, and now I still remember and I hate them. Come on, come out of it. Come out of it. The meaning of life is right here at this present moment, how you live your life right here, right now. Are you going to live it meaningfully? Are you going to live it meaninglessly by being so angry with those old memories, old behaviors of others or whatever? And you lost the opportunity to use this present moment. So it's really not worthwhile. I think it's not worthwhile. Okay? So I want to share with you a story right here. Is one, it is a real story, okay? One time there was this old monk traveling back on the way back to the temple, and you know, in the middle of his journey, it was pouring, thundering, and everything. And he passed by a house, and he actually knocked on the house and asked the house owner whether he can give him a shelter just until the rain stops, or you know, or when the rain actually lessens down, then he can go on his way. And that wealthy family and the owner said, no, I can't give you a shelter. I can't even give you a roof to rest. So the monk went on, you know, in the rain, in the thunder, and got back to the monastery. 3 years later, this very well-off man went with his wife because his wife wanted to go to get some blessings from the local temple. So he went with his wife to the temple, and they brought a little offering, you know, some fruits and all that, flowers and all that. As soon as they walked into the hall, and this wealthy man saw his name in the plaque, in the paper plaque, right in front of the medicine Buddha. Medicine Buddha is for like blessings to the life ones, right? To the living ones. And he asked the little monk, he said, "This is my name, why was my name up there?" And the little monk said, "I don't know. This name has been up there for 3 years. My sifu came back one night all soaked, wet, and he said, he didn't tell this little monk that was him. He asked this little monk why this name was there. This little monk said, well, my sifu 3 years ago asked me to put this name up because my sifu said, well, I did not have a good connection with this person. I needed to give him more blessings so that we could have a better connection. And the name has been up there for 3 years. And this wealthy man felt so ashamed that this monk asked to have a roof to stand on, to be, you know, not to be so wet and soaked. But yet he actually repaid him of such a horrible act with a blessing. for 3 years. Every day. The old monk would go to go in front of the name and say, read sutras and say a prayer and bless this person. And 3 years later, this person found out this is what he got from the monk. So this is forgiveness. This is a true forgiveness with a kind heart. And it is a role model for us. So as some of you said, rise up in the beginning of the talk, is when you forgive, you allow yourself to rise up. Forgiveness allows us to rise up. And to rise up from this state to further up. So do not think that forgiveness is you're losing. You don't lose anything, you actually gain. Because you gain peace, you gain happiness, you gain trust. And if you don't forgive, because there is a very strong, stubborn attachment there. Attachment to your own view, attachment to others' mistakes. And you know what? I think forgiveness is even more difficult to do than just loving somebody. I think to love somebody, so-called love, is a little easier than to forgive, no? You agree? Yeah. Yes, definitely, right? Laurie said too, yeah. Forgiving is really not easy at all. But I tell you, once you forgive, you don't become the slave of those grudges. If you don't forgive, you become the slave of those grudges. You become that prisoner. And no matter how long those grudges stay there, you become that prisoner for that long. And even that thing that has happened 30 years, 40 years ago. Okay? So if you want to live a better life, if you really want to have a peace of mind, if you really want to have a happy life, try learn to forgive. And the Buddha always said that, seeking happiness from others. Seeking happiness. If your happiness actually depends on others, is even more miserable than a pauper going out to beg for food, to beg for anything. Right? So this is the original this is the original the thing that I actually made up, which was quite different from the thought that I had at 5 o'clock. But this is what it is. All right. So, yeah, it's good. All right. Do you have anything to share? Yeah, have anything to say? It's a very tough topic, forgiveness. No? Everybody's so quiet. It's very, very tough topic. I know I stir up something in your heart, in your mind tonight probably. Try to forgive, okay? And go on and create more peace and space for yourself. And that would really, really create more space, and that would allow yourself to actually cultivate more peace and harmony with yourself first, then with others. All right? Okay, so we dedicate our merits. May these blessings extend to all, that we, with all the other beings, together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, understand them, practice them, and help themselves to liberate from their own entanglements, miseries, unhappiness, and be truly, ultimately free and happy. Okay, may you all have a good week.